Hello, welcome. Today, my husband and I are getting a new car. So, my husband's number one interest is probably cars. He knows all about them and spends quite a bit of his free time either watching YouTube videos or taking care of his car. So, when we decided to get a new car, I left most of the decisions up to him because he knew more about all of the important things. But today is finally the day where we get to pick it up. The dealership we're at is pretty busy, so we're just sitting drinking some complimentary tea from the free vending machine. I think these vending machines are pretty common in Japanese car dealerships. I've seen them several times, the ones like this, but I've never seen them in an American one. I also got up and wandered around a bit. I looked at their little car display. It's a Subaru dealership, so it has some of their different car models. And I thought these little model cars were kind of cute. So I went around and looked at them to kill some time. I also looked at some of the floor models, so the cars on display. This is not the car that we got, but I was curious and a little bored, so I went and looked inside this car. It does look like it has some of the same features as the car we got, but now we get to actually get in the brand new car. It's so shiny right now, and I'm trying to be very careful as I get in the car because I don't want to mess anything up. So we're gonna go for a drive in our new car. This one is a Subaru WRX, and it actually has a bunch of features that I think are pretty cool. It has things like heated seats and cruise control, which are pretty normal, but it also has other things. So, for example, whenever you get into the driver's side seat, it scans your face and it will change the position of the seat automatically based on who's driving. And that's really convenient for me because I'm quite a bit shorter than my husband, so I need to have my seat much further forward when I'm driving. So instead of having to switch it back and forth when we drive, it will just automatically change that for us, which I think is really nice, really convenient. It also has a couple different safety features where it will help you stay inside the lines while you're driving. It also has cameras all around, and it's really helpful when parking the car, especially because the parking for our apartment is really inconvenient. We have to back in, and we have to go across a little bit of sidewalk, so we have to be careful and watch for pedestrians, people walking, and people on bikes. And then our apartment's garbage often kind of gets pushed out partway onto the sidewalk, so we also have to watch out for that. And sometimes I even have to get out and move it back so that we can get through. So the cameras really help when we are parking it. All of these features are really cool, and I like having extra safety features in my cars, but I I'm still really nervous to drive this car, partly because it's new, but also partly just because I don't really like driving. I have been driving since I was 16, well, technically 15. In America, at 15, you can start training for your license. And so when you're with a licensed adult, you can practice driving. And then at 16, you can get your driver's license. And as soon as I turned 16, my mom had me take the test so that I could drive myself to school, which made mornings a lot easier for her. I know in Japan that the age is a little higher, but in America, most cities are car-centric, which means we don't have very good public transportation, buses, trains, subways, things like that. So you usually need a car to get around. So most people get their license very young in America and have to start driving. That's what happened with me. Me getting my license made things a lot easier for my parents and my older sister because they didn't have to drive anymore. So I started driving at 16, but I never liked it. I always felt nervous. I always worry about other drivers doing crazy things. So I guess I just don't trust other drivers to be safe. So whenever I'm driving, I'm always a little bit worried and can never really relax. I'm curious if most of y'all like driving, or do you prefer to take public transport or walk somewhere? So yeah, how do you get around? In Japan, in big cities, there's usually plenty of buses and trains and subways. So I know a lot of people don't even have cars, and some people don't have their license. But actually, in the countryside of Japan, there's usually not subways, fewer trains, and fewer buses. So I know in the countryside, cars are a lot more important for getting around in everyday life. So there's a lot of differences between driving in Japan and driving in America, like the fact that we drive on opposite sides of the roads. Also, the windshield wiper and the turn signal are on opposite sides. And when I first started driving, that was really hard for me to get used to. Now, on this drive right now, we are headed to Don Quixote because we like shopping there because the prices are pretty good. So once we pull into Don Quixote, I'm going to try and show y'all some pictures of the outside of the car because we haven't really gotten to see that yet, and it's the whole point of the video. So it's just a block or two more here. This is a bigger Don Quixote. So it has groceries and household items and clothes and makeup and kind of everything. But here we are, just pulling in. And this Don Quixote has underground parking. So we have to be kind of careful when pulling in and watch out for any other cars coming. Okay, but now we're gonna park. This is the car. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.